It is May the 6th. How are ya? Rise and shine. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful day. Good morning to you. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week to chat about what's going on in the world of weather. It's going to be a beautiful one. A live look outside on our Tower Cam network, taking us to downtown Orlando, where we begin just beautifully. Just some high, thin clouds over top of us. Let me take you over to Ocala. See what's doing. Same kind of idea. Tavares, good morning, good morning. Oh, man. Isn't that so pretty? Any morning we get the chance to start off looking that nice, you know it's going to be a good day. Orlando International Airport is looking fantastic. Over to the tourist district. Having all the tower cams in the weather computer now to push to the wesh.com tower cam section is definitely neat. So boss never told me to advertise it, but I'm doing it because we put the work in. It's super cool. Looking good over near Disney Springs. Port Canaveral. We're taking the kids on a cruise this summer, and we were just talking to them about it, and they're super excited. So we've been looking at this tower cam a bit. Although it's not going to be any of those ships, but that's okay. And last but not least, let me take you over to the Kennedy Space Center. You are looking live at Space Launch Complex 41. That is going to be the site of history later today as the first crewed mission from the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station since the Apollo era fires off later on. It's going to be so neat. Cannot wait. High atop a ULA Atlas V rocket. Man, we're going to talk all about launch constraints and all of that fun stuff a little bit later on, but it is a beautiful, beautiful morning. All right, let's pop up our first warning, live Doppler radar, scan around, see what we've got. Really nothing too much. A sprinkle or two off the shoreline, that's it. Temperatures out the door, comfortable. 70s along the shoreline. A few 60s west Volusia into Flagler County. That's about it. Otherwise, it's looking like a great morning. But like yesterday, we'll get some thunderstorms firing up. 1 o'clock, 86 degrees, 90 our high temperature. It's going to be a hot one. So, of course, I'm going to wear a button-down shirt and jean pants because that's what we should be doing. And a 30% coverage of seeing showers and thunder showers. Now, neighborhood by neighborhood temperatures look like this. Beaches not quite as hot. Mid-80s there, right? 84 New Smyrna Beach, 89 in Sanford. About 90 degrees in Orlando and 91 in Wildwood. What about the rains? Let's take a look at Futurecast. Certainly we know it's gorgeous this morning. Through lunchtime, popcorning up a few sprinkles here or there. Nothing too bad. Then it all works inland. There's 4 p.m., 5 p.m. Nothing too crazy. A couple of sea breeze storms trying to fire up out west of town. Of course, because we have it, might as well peek in on the beta Futurecast, see what's doing. Looking quiet this morning through the early afternoon, popcorning up a little bit of rain, and then it looks like the inland stuff. Yeah. So for the launch forecast, and there are 2 launches today, by the way, but for the launch forecast for the crewed mission, this is the big one, right? Looking at a 95% chance of good weather, which is always good. 95% chance of good weather for that one. 10:34 p.m. Starliner crew test mission. By the way, there is another launch because space launch is such a big business, and the 45th over there doing a great job. The range doing a great job. There's a Starlink mission around lunchtime today. What craziness are we at where we're launching so often? Isn't that unbelievable? 90% chance of good weather for this one. So, yeah, we are looking fantastic. I just can't, it's just, the world we live in is just crazy to me, right? Man. All right, so we're looking good. I got to tell you, though, we've got some changes in the forecast this week, okay? Mid-90s are working into Central Florida's forecast with late week temperatures so hot, we're probably talking about 10 or so records falling across the Sunshine State from Jacksonville through our area to Winter Haven. Daytona could be looking at records. Sanford, Orlando International, Leesburg. Yeah, we have got some heat. So look at where we're going the next few days. Today, 90. Tomorrow, 92. By Thursday, well, 97 degrees. What in the devil's going on, right? Meteorologically, we talk on Coffee Talk about so many nerd things. But meteorologically, we have this phenomenon happening where 500 millibars up, or essentially half the atmosphere up, we track weather up there too. It's not just here at the surface where we live. And about 500 millibars up, about halfway up, there's this big dome of high pressure, and it's compressing. With high pressure, the air sinks. It compresses and it heats, hence compressional heating. So it's basically over the Gulf of Mexico, big dome of this upper level high pressure. And as such, the temperatures really start to climb. So where do we go? Let's just talk about the Thursday records, okay? For Thursday, for example, here's some of the numbers. 97 in Orlando is our forecast. 98 is the record going back to 1915. We'll be awful close. Sanford expecting to tie a record. Leesburg expecting to tie a record. Daytona Beach, you'll be close enough that it's at least in the ballpark of discussion. And then Melbourne, close, but not quite there. So that's Thursday. Let's look at Friday. 96 in Orlando, close to a record. Sanford, 96, close to a record. Leesburg, not quite, but Daytona Beach is getting awful close. Melbourne is getting awful close. As the winds shift, the beaches are going to start to heat up a little bit. So we've got quite the little stretch of weather here these next couple of days. Thus far this year, we have gotten to 92 degrees. That was on May the 2nd. But by Thursday, we'll be to 97. So all this to say, this by far is going to be the hottest temperatures we have seen yet this year. Mickey says, is asking, is the GFS still showing 100 plus? Survey says yes. This is the GFS numbers. Horizontally, you can see on the bottom, May 6th, May 7th, May 8th, May 9th. Vertically, you can see air temperature. So this is raw GFS numbers. You can see the GFS is saying for today, 91, we're going 90. Remember, computer models are guidance, not gospel. But notice Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the GFS still showing triple-digit heat. Still. Do we think we'll get there? We're not expecting it. Is it possible? It's possible. So we'll see how it plays out. Sean, I'm absolutely dreading that heat at the Speedway for Rockville. My anxiety just from thinking about it. Drink non-alcoholic beverages. But I want to have a beer to relax. Bro, that heat's going to relax you whether you want it or not. I just don't want you passing out. And that, I think, is kind of the big theme. I mean, look at this 7-day forecast, right? And this is not just me being Grandpa Burris. Oh, Grandpa, can't have any fun. Listen, this is serious heat. So this is the actual forecast, right? This is, wrong one. This is the computer models. This is the actual forecast. We're talking dangerous heat. So we need to take it easy. Right? So a couple of storms here or there today, a couple of storms here or there tomorrow, but then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, as that 500, we call it 500 because it's 500 millibars, 5 halfway out of the atmosphere, but that 500 millibar ridge of high pressure, as that really builds, we're absolutely heating up, right? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday will be our first bouts with dangerous heat. And you know what's interesting, and I haven't done this yet. I don't even know if it'll work. The heat index graphics that we always show. Haven't looked at these in forever. But because it's a dry heat, that's what I was going to try and illustrate. Because it's a dry heat, it's not like the feels like temperatures will be getting into the triple digits, right? So we're in the caution range, but it will be our first bout because it's a dry heat, right? Because the humidity actually comes down a little bit Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or stays down just a little bit. So there's that. All right. So that's kind of where we're at. Big heat. All right. Enough of me entering it up. Let's chat. Let's read the comments. Julie's asking, where is the rain? All the insects are coming inside looking for water in my lawn. Well, I won't go there. I know. We've gotten a few storms. Just not enough. Yeah. Shonda says, absolutely no alcohol for me. I have health problems, which will affect me in the heat. I totally understand what you're saying. Lots of liquid IV and drip drop. Yeah, it's true. And for events like this, where people want to enjoy an adult beverage or so, it's just like, what is a hangover? A hangover is dehydration. You add to the fact that your body's going to be sweating so much from the heat, and I am concerned about weather for events like this. I just am. Because I know there's going to be some person that's going to screw it up, and they're going to have a really rough couple of days, and I hate that. So, yeah. Chris, don't tell me that the Muggy Meter says pleasant on Thursday. I'm trying to look to see. I don't think Kellyanne did it, but we can run the numbers real fast. Hold on. All right. Give me 2 seconds. I am going to... All right. So, hold on. I'm loading all the data. Monday. All right, so Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, dew points are in the upper 60s and lower 70s. So, all right, so I'm just going to pop up the Muggy Meter as it is. All right, so this is the Muggy Meter scale. So dew point temperatures, today is the 6th, so the 7th. So tomorrow's Muggy Meter will be comfy. Wednesday's Muggy Meter will be humid. Thursday's Muggy Meter will be humid. Friday's Muggy Meter will be approaching steamy. But it's getting there. In other words, we're not straight up there. And because it's dry in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere, it doesn't all translate down to the surface. So no, it's not comfy. No, we're in the humid category. But, yeah. No, Brian, I just said that we're not looking, at the moment at least, we're not looking at 100 plus degree heat index temperatures. So no, we're not. We're not doing that. At least not yet. It doesn't look like that. We'll be close, but it doesn't look like we'll be there. It does not look like we'll be into extreme heat warnings. No. Nicole, it still feels nice in the shade. We're also not in the range of temperatures like we will be later on this week. Hey, real quick, by the way, while we're chatting... Jeremy Nelson and I will be on WESH 2 News at 9 a.m. WESH 2 News Sunrise at 9 a.m. over on CW18 this morning. We will be there with you talking about the hurricane forecast. So if you're around, I have no idea what time exactly, but if you're looking for weather information at 9 a.m., we'll be there talking about our hurricane forecast and showing some of the dates. And if you were watching Coffee Talk yesterday... If you're watching Coffee Talk yesterday, you heard us discussing how we're not changing the forecast at all, but we are sliding a couple of the dates around as we've gotten a better look at the cycles through April and May. So there's that. Just some subtle adjustments to the dates, but the forecast itself is staying put. So anyway, yeah. Yukon says, I will be pushing the lawnmower at 9. I feel you. Well, and I'll post the video update. I'll post the video update on social at some point. Yeah. So anyway, there's that. All right. So let's do this. We're not into hurricane season yet, certainly, but we're getting closer. So let's start just kind of dialing out and looking and seeing what's out there. For right now, thankfully, not much to see. There is kind of a spin on the top center portion of your screen. That's not tropical in nature, just a nice area of low pressure along an old frontal boundary. And there's some moisture across the open Atlantic, but nothing there. So at this point in time, happy to say no tropical development expected over the next 7 days' time. When we look at the month of May, it's always interesting to discuss. These little red dots are where tropical systems have formed during the month of May. And usually what you end up with are weak cold fronts that sneak on through and basically park it, bubble up, and create something. All right. And, while we're discussing, I think it's kind of interesting. Over time, and I need to email, there was a meteorologist that sent me an email and I forgot to respond to him. Sugar. Oh my gosh. Hold on. It just occurred to me. Sugar. He emailed me. Yeah. Nicholas from WALA. It was this. He saw this graphic, and so I need to respond to him. He was asking how I got this data, so I need to get back to him. Okay, all right. Remind me at the end of Coffee Talk. Remind me to respond to Nicholas Herboso. Anyway, over time, the HERDAT-2 tropical cyclone database shows 32 named storms and 4 hurricanes during the month of May. Suffice it to say, we do get systems during the month. I'm not trying to use this as a setup for we're about to get hit with a hurricane or a tropical storm during the month of May, but rather just it's not crazy to start eyeballing, looking around, and just making sure that there's nothing trying to form. So let's kind of take a look. That's like the 10th. There's the like the Gulf to Carolina low part of the pattern. Oh, biscuits. Somebody watches Bluey. All right, so there's that sneaking on through. That's an old front. And, these old fronts, you always have to watch. I'm not saying it's going to do something, but you always have to watch. See that they're not. Now, look at that. Around the 13th of May, little storm system GFS is trying to bring across. That's interesting. The 13th of May. Let me go back a model run. Interesting. Go back 2 model runs. Interesting. Look at that. That's not really a part of the pattern, but it's something to watch. 3 model runs back. So, interesting. We'll have to watch that for sure. And high pressure builds in, and yeah, all right. Let's switch over to, there is a new version of the European that we'll be using this year. The long-range European. This is the European Deterministic AI model. The ECMWF AIFS. It's the AI forecast system, so I guess it just extrapolates out further. So there's the Gulf to Carolinas low. And even the European is showing something left over in the Gulf of Mexico around the 14th. That'll be interesting. And then, yeah, interesting. Now, a couple of things. If we go out to the European weeklies, this is looking at kind of a weekly surge. So basically, late May into early June, the European weeklies are showing lowering pressure around the Caribbean into South Florida. And so at the moment, at least, we should read into this as perhaps an indicator of some sort of tropical activity trying to get going, right? That'll be, now there are 2 parts of the pattern that kind of fit that area. So, I would say that nothing is looking to try to get going like today or tomorrow, but there's definitely stuff. There's definitely stuff. The European seasonal, May, June, July, August, lowered pressures, July, August, September, right? Like all of the indicators through hurricane season are kind of showing a little close for comfort, we'll say, in terms of activity. We look at precipitation. If we look at seasonal QPF anomaly, Where do we have wetter than average conditions? May, June, July, the Caribbean into South Florida. But look at how, June, July, August, it's the Caribbean through South Florida. There's a lot of indication that kind of goes back to this whole idea of the Gulf of Mexico, the Caribbean, and frankly, the Gulf Coast, including Florida. So all this to say, just, as new data continues to come in, it continues to show that we may have some hurricane season to track in the next 6 to 7 months. It's all quiet now. And I'm not trying to scare you at all, but rather just saying, there are things. There are things that we'll have to watch. The new dates, by the way, we shifted them back just a couple of days. So the new dates for the things. The thing that's cycling through these next couple of days is going to be the Gulf to Carolinas low. I didn't put early May because at the end of the day, it's basically like this week-ish. But watching the models for kind of northern Gulf Coast and then the Carolinas, and we were looking at that, right? Over here, let me just turn this around, put it back to the GFS, pressure, anomaly, right? And kind of watching some sort of a storm system right in there. You see like northern Gulf Coast and then into the Carolinas there. So it's like late this week. That's that part of the pattern, okay? That will cycle back through late June, mid-August, and then into September. But the part of the pattern coming late in May, I did put those dates on there. The Gulf to Florida low, we did have to shift this back just a little bit, but May 23rd through the 28th, and the CFS, actually, I haven't checked that this morning. Let's check the CFS together, though, and see if that's showing anything here. All right, so here's the CFS. That's the 16th. All right, so that's the 20th. That's the 23rd. There's definitely some moisture bubbling up over near the Bahamas at this point. See, let me move this so that you can kind of see it. You see it there? Yeah. What is that? That's the 25th, right? That's the 25th. And so the 23rd through the 28th kind of have that South Florida area highlighted, and the CFS is showing some sort of moisture. It's not going crazy, but it's showing something, right? That's the 27th. There's the 27th. 23rd through the 28th. There's the 27th of May. Nothing massive or anything, but the CFS, this is a really long range model. Just it's a way to kind of look for little hints and things. So late May, this part of the pattern will be cycling back through, and then into July, and then into August. And then after that, there's the last of the big hot spots showing the northern Gulf Coast the first week in June or the second week in June, and then July and September. So long as we get rain, I don't care how we get it. Yeah, I know. We don't have a ton of rain in the forecast these next couple of days, unfortunately. Yeah. Can you post Jeremy's pen and paper computations? The only thing that I have, at least handy, is... Let's see. The only thing I have from Jeremy that's handy is just the paper that he lists all of our dates so we've got like the first run and then the second run, and it's adorable. Debbie, are you saying it will be hot this week, possibly moist out there? Yeah, it's going to be, at least it's not going to be full on summer humidity, but it'll be getting close. Priscilla, am I taking the science lab out for Starlink? I'm taking the weather lab out with Starlink for the Boeing Crew launch. Yes. Chris, no, I'm going to update that right after Coffee Talk. Yeah. All right. Sound good? A good friend will bail you out of jail. A great friend will be sitting next to you saying, dang, that was fun. Yeah, heard that. Love that. Yep. All right. Oh, my God, Taylor, you're too much. Let him out, baby. Let him out. All right. Be good. Hope you have a great day. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much for hanging out for Coffee Talk. We'll see you. I'll be doing the things from the launch. We've got 2 launches. Starlink is around lunchtime, and then the Boeing Starliner crew mission is like 10:30 something. What time is it? Let me check. I've got the forecast in front of me. The Boeing Starliner. Can't believe we finally gotten here. It's going to be gorgeous. 10:34 p.m. Love that. All right. Be good. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much for hanging out for Coffee Talk. Be good. Yes. Emailing Nick. Yes. Thank you. All right. Bye, everybody.